We need a man who is going to take this state to the next level, but it must be done in such a way that you don't disenfranchise the people that have set the system. Politics is a game of interest, and the victors must be given the latitude to savour their victory. That is it. So the question is, how do we balance out these two issues that could be conflicting and not necessarily complementing? How do we do it such that the politician is acknowledged, is duly rewarded? They tried to do a thing like that in Lagos State, but it was that of convenience and not that of necessity. And it worked for a while substantially, where you had a man like Tinubu, taking care of the political side of things, and while Fashola was looking at the administrative. But you see, it wasn't a very clean arrangement. It wasn't based on certain ideologies. It was based on certain conveniences. But if we can improve on that and create it as an institution, and I say it again, I blame the politicians, because the politicians are sitting back. I need something, and I'm coming to you to beg. Or rather, I need something, but you are coming to me to beg. I've not seen the party sit down and say, yes, I need to hear you. What are you saying? What is your policy? No. The party, all of them are running to aspirants. And at what point? Then when the man takes power, you know, say, hey, he's not talking to me. Why should he talk to you?
You're subservient.
You're subservient from day one. You gave him the power. But this is the time that I expect the PDP to come in-house and say, look, we need a strong party. You want something. Are you willing to play by these rules? What is your game plan to satisfy politicians on a general, not the one, you like this one, okay, Dimba or something now. You like the other one, okay, come and build this school. No. All fingers will not be equal. But what is your strategy to ensure that Udodo in the village is recognized? Okay? Now, I've put all these things, I'm answering these questions in segments because I want to be as realistic as possible.
Okay.
Then we now come back to look at two things: zones and tribes, senatorial district and ethnic nationality. One day that question must be answered. Where do we stand? On senatorial district or on ethnic nationality? When you say, when we get to that river we'll cross it, you are being insincere. Let's take a position and stand by that position. It might not be a very interesting thing to say, but I think that posterity will start to judge some of us harshly because we are deceitful, and what we sow one way or the other we will reap it, and we need to learn to sow honesty. This thing they call politics, that politics, they say, that's, you see, a lie is a lie.
Well, sorry to continue, but I think the party, from going by what I read, I think the party at the state level, I set pedestal, and even the ongoing national conference, the argument seems to be favoring the zones. The idea of ethnic nationalities being played down.
What I'm saying is that if we have decided that now, let us stick with it and know that that is what we've decided. I have no problem with anywhere we go, but let us know that this is what we have decided. Let us come as a people, as a state. But you see, that has a little problem again, which is why I tried to draw a line before. We should be careful to follow the pulse of the people, because the fact that somebody has gotten a ticket on the platform of the PDP in the past was as good as he's won. But I want to say this with every sense of responsibility. People may not like it. We need to be careful. We need to be careful. The easiest thing that the PDP can do today to win anyhow in this state is to bring out a person that they look at the generality of the body language of the people and say yes. Secondly, put on ground a free and fair context, so that even your enemy, when you pick it, they'll say, if for any reason there's any case of being disenfranchised, and for any reason again there's a gang up with the opposition, we'll have problems. So what does the PDP need to do? Sell itself. If there's a special person, sell it well on platform of this is your best choice. Each of these people have amazing qualities and attributes. All you need to do is articulate these attributes, sell the person to the people, because everybody knows that's the person that I'm going to be stuck with. I need to know who you are. And these people have amazing attributes. Start to sell those attributes, because in 2015, something tells me that there's going to be a clean election. And something tells me too that people are going to vote their conscience.
Okay, now you're driving us towards the bigger picture.
Yes.
And I mean, cerebral mind should appreciate that. But let's still come back to the bottom line.
Yes.
I still like you to nail it, because so many people are watching now would like to hear what is NYak-etok's position on this matter. Okay, let's, having considered all that has transpired between when we had the last interview and now. I said it because you are an opinion molder. As I said, you have so many friends, you have young people who believe in you, and they want to hear what you say and see if you can lead them somewhere. What is your stance on the issue of what those qualities should be of that person who should succeed the governor? In addition to all that you've said, the bigger picture, you've painted. The bottom line now.
I'm trying very hard to be as specific as I possibly could, but I cannot be more specific than my mind.
Okay.
I wish there is a way I could bring out the attributes of each of these persons. If I tell you that I'm voting for this person today, I'll be lying to you.
That's right.
Because I've not decided who I'm going to vote for.
Okay.
I have not.
All right.
And God bears me witness, I have not decided.
Okay. So
no, it's important I take the next step.
Okay.
But what I am doing, which is what you should be doing, is ask your conscience, what do I know?
That's right.
Who are they? Because I have 5 friends on the table, there's going to be a second question. What do I know about him? What are my priorities? Is he God-fearing? Because that's my priority. Does he believe in corporate governance? Because that's my priority. Corporate governance is key. What is his disposition and maturity and character? Is he cocky? Is he prideful, proud? Because the Bible says that God resists the proud but gives grace to the humble. Is he a humble person at heart? I'm going to look at those core qualities. Will he be able to heal the wounds and bind us together as a people? Will he be able to have the quality of a leader where he will command my respect, not my fear? My respect. Where people will love me. They love me. It's like when I say people willingly want to do it. Who is that man amongst them? These 4, 5, 6 people I've mentioned. Who is that man? I need to do a lot more of the groundwork.
Okay. Before you can give them.
Yes, before I can give.
All right.
I'm not going to say because they hate you, I must hate you. That's silly. Because they love you, I must love you. For me, it's going to be an individual case.
Okay.
And while I have friends that listen to me, that appreciate me, that look up to me, my advice to you is first, don't be follow.
Do your own assessment.
Play your game. You don't even know why NYak-etok wants to support this person. It's probably because he has a personal thing. Play your game, and when the die is cast, your conscience will tell you that you did what you believe was right, and the God of good conscience we help you.
We'll vindicate you. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. Now, let's move on from there. I just decided that we take time to deal with the issue of governorship, because that's for me.
I'm for you.
Every other thing is secondary to it. But I think we've actually done an exhaustive job on that. You led us to where a statesman should, and I must give it to you. It takes cerebral minds like you to understand where you are headed, and I know many Akwa Ibom people that have taken your advice and are going to hit it, I'm sure. Now, Mr. President, 2015.
Let me tell you, in the next few days, there's an article I wrote. Mr. President, I will support you. And it's going to be published, it's going to be paid for, major national dailies, and it's going to cause a lot of ripples in the system.
Okay.
And I'm going to give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reasons. I start by saying, Mr. President, I have a good following and I've enjoyed the respect of the media, print, electronic, and social. As a matter of fact, my posts, if you look at my Facebook page, my posts have as much as over 200,000 views. Do you understand me? Open, you will see it. Some have over 200,000 views. I make one post, they have over 1,000 likes, some as much as 700 comments. I don't think that there's any other person in this state that can boast of that level of followership at national level. And I told Mr. President, because I have this level of followership, there are many people who don't believe in you. And when I take this stand, it's going to offend a lot of my friends. But it's a decision I want to take. Number 2, I don't believe that you are God's gift to humanity, the best thing. But I believe that you mean well for this country. These are the reasons why I'm going to support you. Reason number 1, the unity of this country. For too long, we've had wrong mentalities, and we are recycling that mentality. The North believes that power is theirs and that we are usurping, and that trend has to be broken, and broken for good. If they remove you, it will strengthen that mentality. But if you break that jinx and come back, then, number 1, while you've broken that jinx, you've broken their back. What do you replace the back with? Freeing them from slavery, cultural slavery. What was the cultural slavery? Power had resided in the North for like ever, and yet no development in the North. Instead, what you have were people, individuals, who were richer than the state. And all the generality of the people going to these people for Saraka. You, Mr. President, can break that trend. As you take power from them, give them capacity in return. Litter the North with cottage industries and let money enter the pocket money of the average Northerner from his hand. I didn't say big industries, I meant cottage industries. Industries that you set up, some industries are as small as this table, but they can do toothpick. Set up like commodity boards to collect these things from these industries, give these people money, and then they realize that they can actually enter a shop and buy a bottle of Coke from their pocket. Then they will now start to say, you would have broken that mentality, broken that culture. 4 years is good enough time to do it. For the unity of this country. The flip side of it is the man in the Niger Delta who believes that that Northerner is only there to take his own money. If the president is harassed, intimidated, chased out of office, whoever comes in as your successor is not going to enjoy the benefit of the Niger Delta or the Delta region. They will say, you don't have, I don't have, let's see how we are going to survive. And the average Niger Delta is going to survive outside of oil, but the North is going to be a problem. So for us to break that mentality, we will get the North to support you, to re-elect you, so that when your own man comes, we will tell the boys in the creeks, you know, they supported our president, let us also support them. It will be easier to work out the unity of this country. That is on one side. Another one is that in the 80s, 90s, the economy was declining. Today, the rails are back. Today, NEPA has been unbundled. Today, power is seen the light of day. It's not yet Uhuru. Today, we are the biggest economy in Africa and the 26th biggest economy in the world. Somebody must be doing something right. As a result of this, I will support you. I have been an advocate for housing over the years, over 20 years. I ran one of the longest programs on real estate this week in Lagos, NTA Channel 10, in the early 90s. I've been on it till today. Never in the history of this country in my lifetime have I seen the revolution that has come into housing delivery. We have the housing policy after 22 years. We are having a presidential retreat for the first time. We are having a mortgage refinancing company which is funding housing delivery. And I could go on and on and on and on. And if I have this, why don't I support this man to institutionalize this and get it to a cruise position? Now, I could bring out 1, 2, 3, 4 other things I put. On the basis of these and more, Mr. President, I will support you. Now, what happens is that the man, and in fact, one of the things I picked up again was disappointing and weak opposition. When opposition came, I was one of those that was very happy, because I didn't like the impunity with which PDP was carrying on as if nobody could do more than a dead rat. When the opposition came in, they actually shook the PDP and they were like, my God, we need to be careful. But the opposition came in as an anticlimax. They came in and all their agenda was insulting the presidency. There are certain institutions you don't insult as a rule, right. Global rule. The national flag, the national anthem, the presidency, you don't insult them. They stand as a symbol of the unity of the country. But the opposition comes and everybody, even those who don't know how to brush their teeth, are insulting the president. They're calling him names. They're blah blah blah. The opposition needs to be taught a lesson. Finally, to birth a new Nigeria. You see, between now and 2015, there's not much we can achieve in terms of changing the culture. If a new person comes in 2015, he's going to have re-election to think about. So there are certain things he's not going to do because they are not politically correct. But Mr. President, you are finishing in 2019. So you have 4 years where you don't have to be politically correct, where you do the right thing. Within that 4 years, between 2015 and 2019, you can reinstitute a new political culture. The change I'm expecting in Nigeria is not a change of 2015, no. It's a change of 2019. But if I have a new person coming here, he cannot change the system. It's going to be the change of 2023. So I would rather you continue and end, so that during this 4-year period, you birth a new Nigeria, and in 2015 kill the old Nigeria that they had predicted would die. That prophecy will come to pass, but in reverse, not the way they expected. Okay. So this is one more reason why I would rather have you complete that term.
I can't wait to read the entire process. I can't wait. But it makes an interest. Just the insight alone, it makes an interesting read, if you ask me. And not a few people, you know, I agree with you. We shouldn't be surprised that pockets of opposing elements are coming up. You know, besides the fact that it's from the Niger Delta, some of those some of those issues you've laid on the table, nobody can refute. And I'm only grateful that supports are beginning to come in from potent sources. For instance, recently the House of Representatives caucus, decided to pass a vote of confidence on him and urge him to run for another term. The governors for the PDP governors forum have done the same, and for people like you to also lend a voice on this, I'm sure that many more are going to follow. And for me, it's going to be an easy case for Mr. President to return to office. Now, the national confab is on. There's a little stalemate as we speak, and it has gone back to Mr. President. But pull all of this into perspective in very few minutes. What is your take on the confab?
The confab was a very wise thing. Some of the decisions are not exactly unexpected. The mistake that we made is that you don't let me give you this adage which we are all used to, well, the young people will not understand. You see, when in those days, when you are making fire, you need to bend down and blow it. But the man is so well fed, he can't bend down and be using leg to be pushing the firewood for you.
And besides that, he knows that there's nothing at stake.
You see, how can you put the issue of the resource control last? You have already solved the problems of all the other people. So when you now come to resource control, they are like
misplaced priority.
So we actually should have started, no matter how hard it was, we should have started by resolving the issues of the resource control. We were hitting 50%. They were begging, and then now when the North are very, very politically savvy. Okay, when they brought out the strategy, okay, you know what? Since this is heated, let's keep it aside and work on that so that we can melt the system and come back and said, these guys have got us. And as soon as we bought that, they passed all their agenda, everything they needed, they passed. And by the time it's come to resource control, they are now saying, in fact, 13%, we don't even want the 13%, onshore, offshore, blah, blah, blah. So now you're hyperventilating and begging, okay, leave it at 13%. Okay? And I believe that there are other strategies, other ways to get around it, and we will be able to get around it. We are putting our heads together, one way or the other, because the answer to this country is let every man take care of himself. If it needs for us to say, okay, shut down all the wells, which will not be, but the wiser thing to do is just go ahead and be nice to help the North. Like I said, as you take power from them, break their backbone, replace it with a good enough empowerment, because we must be fair to them.
All right. Okay. For all of 4 days, what a series. We've engaged architect Otuekong Ezekiel NYak-etok. Is a man of so many parts, a man you enjoy interviewing anytime, any day. I said at the we stage, and you will agree with me that I did not goof when I said what I said about him. And I can only continue to thank God for the gift of him to us as a state, near the entire country. I can only pray that God continues to give him more vim to do what he's doing for us and continue to take hand and beyond the shores of this country. Your parting shot, we've had enough of the troubling. We'll trouble you enough, so your parting shot.
Nitoeka, please, as a parting shot, let me start by asking you to please go to www.housingfinance.gov.ng. Housing Finance, one word, .gov.ng. The gov is gov.ng. Register. When you have registered, get a copy of your form if you so desire. Remove your bank account, if you like, cut it out. Send it to my office. I want to be able to follow up whatever is being done in Akwa Ibom State. That's number one. Number two, as 2015 approaches, please let God be your judge, that you have done what your conscience tells you is right to do. For the good of this state, for the good of our future and as a people, let your conscience rule what you have to do. So long as you are honest and sincere, God will help you. You are an amazing set of people, and I'm so proud to be an Akwa Ibom person. God bless you, and goodbye.
Okay. All right, so that's been it. After 4 long days of engagement, we're finally done with so much to show for it, with so much to learn from him, with so much for us to reminisce, at the end of this long session. It's been fun, it's been exciting, it's been exhilarating as always, and we can only pray that we have another part to this pretty soon. It's been architect Ezekiel NYak-etok and a Tuekong for Akwa Ibom and a Tuekong of Nigeria. He's been doing wonderful things for us, especially in the housing sector. He's a strong political advocate. He believes in the Akwa Ibom project. He stands for it, he sings it, he sleeps it, and will do anything to ensure that this state continues to fly with the right kind of wings and get to the profitable El Dorado. And we can only pray that God will continue to keep him for us. He's the chairman or the alternate chairman of the ministerial committee, the federal government's ministerial committee on the delivery of 10,000 affordable homes projects. Now that's a committee. Is the alternate chairman. Don't forget, he's only alternate chairman to honorable minister, and for me that's a great thing that deserves a thumbs up. He's the CEO of Nubon Consult Limited. He's a consultant to the NDDC on housing. He was at the forefront of ensuring the construction of the prestigious Shelter Africa housing estate here in Uyo. He's consulted for quite a number of state governments, and we look forward to when he will consult for the United Nations. Why not? The way it's going, it's only a heartbeat away. I'd like to thank you for your time, sir, and we pray that you continue to do well for us.
Thanks so much again for having me. God bless.
Thank you. Thank you. My name is Itoro columba, that is. Enjoy the rest of the show.
You're watching the Bridge TV show on air and online.